Hi, my love. Okay, we're going to do a little pep talk here. I've been in my DMs for like the last couple hours this morning, just like responding to people, helping people, pointing people in the right direction. And all of the DMs have had this theme. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to push record and we're going to do a pep talk on the podcast. You do not need another restart. Okay. And I know that might be annoying to hear because the restart can feel so clean. And as I'm recording this, it's a Monday, like restart central, right? The restart that you keep doing on Mondays, Sundays, whatever, feels like relief. It feels like, okay, it's a new week, or like the first of the month, or I'm home from the trip I just went on, or it's that really busy week I had is over. We're starting new after your hormones balance out, like after the kids are done with school, after I get my house together, after I have more capacity, like whatever. After that wave is gone, you feel like you get a fresh start, and that feels like relief. And I understand it. Okay. I was caught in that trap for many, many years. There is something so like seductive about a fresh start. Also, like things that feel symbolic of a fresh start, like the new planner, the cleaned out fridge, like the healthy grocery order that you swear you're gonna actually follow through on, make all the meals, the reset day, the new workout plan, the new routine you saw online that you saved, the new version of you that, is like absolutely, definitely for real this time gonna get it together. And listen, I too love a reset. Okay. I love a clean house, a new candle, a fresh notebook, a grocery haul, like a whole little life rebrand moment. I'm not anti-reset, but there is a difference between resetting your environment and constantly needing to restart your identity. And that is what I want to talk about today, because so many women are living in this loop where they're not actually building self-trust. They're building more proof for their brains that they can get excited, they can make a plan, they can fall off, they can feel bad for it, and then they can wait, they wait for the next perfect moment and they start again. And that is their pattern. And unknowingly, they have wired that in as how their brain sees them at an identity level. That's what's familiar to their brain. That's what the pattern is. And then they call that personal growth, but it's actually not growth if you keep ending up in the same place. It's a loop, and the loop is expensive. Not always financially, although sometimes it is. The courses, the planners, the programs, the apps, the supplements, the memberships, the containers, the tools, that you've bought trying to start over and support your new version of yourself or whatever. But the deeper cost is your self-trust. Every time you say, this time I'm really doing it, and then you quietly disappear on yourself again, your brain learns something. It learns we don't actually follow through. It's not who we are. It learns, my word to myself is flexible. It learns, okay, I can get excited, but I don't actually become. I don't actually become that next level version of myself. And that matters. It matters so much because the version of you who follows through is not created by one intense restart. She is created by repetition and boring consistency, repetition of boring consistency. And it's not sexy. It's not dramatic. It's not all or nothing. It's not burn your life down and start over, that old pattern, right? I mean, boring, grounded, identity building repetition. The kind that your brain eventually will recognize as normal. That is what creates a woman who actually changes. It's not the restart. It's the repetition. It's just coming back after you fall off. So this is the restart loop that I see all the time that was like just pouring into my DMs over the weekend. A woman gets fed up with her own shit. Okay. She's tired of feeling tired. She's tired of not feeling like herself. She's tired of saying she wants more, but then watching herself do the same bullshit. Tired of not taking care of her body. Tired of being overweight. Tired of being inconsistent with her business or her content or her routines. Tired of knowing exactly what to do and exactly what would help and having all the knowledge from all the books and the podcasts and the courses and everything and still not doing the thing. So she has this moment, and that moment feels super powerful to her. The moment where she's like, that's it, I'm done, I am changing everything. And because she's so emotionally activated, she creates a plan from that state. It's not actually coming from wisdom. Okay, it's coming from urgency. It's not coming from identity based, programmed in wiring. It's coming from frustration. It's not coming from nervous system regulation. It's coming from self disgust. And that plan usually looks like trying to become a completely different version of yourself overnight. Wake up at 5, work out every day, eat perfectly, no drinking, no scrolling, post for my business 3 times a day, journal every single morning. I'm going to do the whole entire ritual perfectly every day. I'm going to clean the entire house. I'm going to declutter this entire room. I'm going to start the new project. I'm going to, from now on, I'm just going to be really patient with my kids. I'm not going to snap anymore. I'm going to drink 3 of these big water jugs every day. I'm going to track my money every day. I'm just going to be magnetic online and grow my business. I'm just going to be regulated now. I'm just going to be hot, be rich, be healed. I'm just going to be her. But then by Wednesday or Thursday, her brain is like, absolutely the fuck not, because that is not repetition. That to your subconscious mind is a threat because it's so rapidly different from what is familiar to it. It's a full nervous system ambush disguised as self-improvement. So then she falls off. And when she falls off, she doesn't just think like, okay, that plan was too much. Let's whittle it down a bit. No, she makes it mean something about her. And the wiring sets in. I'm lazy. I'm inconsistent. I can't stick with anything. I always do this. What is wrong with me? I need to get serious. I need to just be more disciplined. I need to start over again. And then the loop starts again. This is the part I need you to catch. The restart becomes the emotional relief from the shame of not following through. So basically, instead of actually learning how to stay with yourself, you learn how to chase the high of beginning again and make yourself feel better. That's why the restart feels so good. It is giving you a temporary identity. For a few hours or a few days, maybe if you're lucky, a few weeks, you get to feel like the woman who has her shit together. You get to feel motivated and clear and powerful. But if the identity is only alive when the conditions are perfect, or you're trying, you're relying on effort, then it is not installed. It is imagined. And that is the difference. A restart lets you imagine her. Repetition makes you become her. And this is where people get it wrong and don't understand. I was DMing with some people this morning and it was back and forth and there was such a misunderstanding here. They think the issue is discipline. How do I wire in discipline? How do I become more I just need to be harder on myself. I need to stop making excuses. I need to force it. And sure, of course, sometimes you need to stop negotiating with your patterns and discipline comes into play. Sure. I'm not here to baby the version of you that keeps choosing the same thing and then calling it confused, acting confused. But I also think that we have to tell the truth. You don't need more shame. It's not helping. You need a more accurate understanding of what is happening, what's going on with you. Because when your brain has repeated a pattern long enough, that pattern becomes what's familiar. It's not good. It's not aligned. It's not helpful. It's not even what you want. But your brain doesn't care. It only cares about what's familiar. The brain loves familiar because familiar equals safe, keeping you alive, survival. Even if what's familiar sucks really bad. So if stopping and starting over and over again is familiar, you will keep finding yourself in that cycle. If chaos is familiar, peace feels weird and you'll sabotage it every time. If overcommitting is familiar, sustainable action will feel too small. It'll feel so boring, you'll sabotage it. If self-abandonment, abandoning your goals, abandoning yourself is familiar, then consistency is going to feel like way too much pressure and you won't be able to keep it going. If, disappointment in yourself is familiar, then self-trust is going to feel suspicious to your nervous system, to your mind. So this is why you can want the new life and still be wired for the old one. And this is such an important distinction. When you think you're failing because you lack discipline, you respond with force and more effort, and you try to punish yourself into change. But when you realize, oh, this is a pattern my brain and nervous system recognize. Now you can work with it differently. You can stop making every fall off a personality flaw. You can stop turning every missed workout, every ignored routine, every skipped class, every avoided task into this like dramatic identity crisis. And you can start seeing the pattern clearly. And when you see the pattern clearly, you have the power to interrupt it. And not interrupting it with like another giant plan, interrupting it with a different response, something you've never tried before. And that's the thing people miss. I know I keep saying that, but there's so many things people miss. Your life changes when your response changes, not when your plan gets prettier, or not just when you magically stick to the pretty plan. Okay? So let's talk a little bit more about the whole idea of like, I'll start again Monday. Because I think this sounds super harmless, and sometimes it is. But sometimes I'll start again Monday is not a plan. It is avoidance with a calendar date, okay? It's like your brain buying you some relief. Because the second you say I'll start Monday, you get to stop feeling the discomfort of deciding right now. You get to move the pressure into the future. And the future version of you is always so convenient, isn't she? She just like is just perfect little version of you. She's got better energy. She has more time magically. She has a cleaner house. She has less stress. She has no PMS. She has no random kid emergencies. She has perfect groceries and perfect meal plans and perfect meals made. She has a full battery. She's just magically emotionally available for the entire life overhaul, isn't she? And we put everything on her. And then we act shocked when future her is also tired as fuck. Future you is not going to rescue you from the patterns current you keeps rehearsing. Future you is not going to rescue you from the patterns current you keeps rehearsing. So the question can't be, when am I going to restart? The question is, what am I rehearsing right now over and over again? Am I rehearsing avoidance? Negotiating with myself on delaying what I need to do? Am I rehearsing self-abandonment? Am I rehearsing the all or nothing cycle? Am I rehearsing proving that I can't trust myself? Or am I rehearsing the identity I say I want? And not in like dramatic ways. Like, this is where a lot of people mess up. They hear identity work and they think it has to be this huge, intense cinematic transformation. Like, no, that's still reflective of the old perfectionism pattern. Identity work is ridiculously unsexy. It's keeping the promise when you don't feel like it. It's showing up for the class live instead of telling yourself you'll catch the next one or watch the replay and then never opening it when you know it's going to change your life. It's doing the 10-minute walk instead of waiting for the perfect 60-minute gym session. It's writing the email before you feel brilliant. It's making the meal that supports your body without turning your entire kitchen into like a wellness influencer set. It's cleaning one corner instead of needing the entire house to be reborn. It's deciding I am no longer available to keep making my life depend on the next restart. Because I respect myself too much. That is powerful. Now, let's get a little bit more honest here. Sometimes the restart loop has another hidden payoff. And I know that sounds annoying, but stay with me. If a pattern keeps repeating over and over again, there is usually some kind of protection or payoff inside of it, because our subconscious minds don't do anything without that. The restart protects you from, the discomfort of continuing imperfectly, because continuing imperfectly is vulnerable. It requires you to be in the messy middle. And the messy middle is where, you don't get the dopamine hit of being brand new anymore. You don't get to be the shiny version of yourself with the perfect Monday plan. You have to be the woman who showed up Tuesday after Monday wasn't perfect. You actually have to be the woman who keeps going after she missed 2 days. You have to be the woman who doesn't burn it all down just because that fantasy version didn't happen perfectly. And for a lot of women, that feels super uncomfortable. And I think the biggest reason it feels uncomfortable is because the restart gives you that clean identity. And the middle makes you confront who you actually are when it's not cute. That's where real change happens. And again, your brain's going to be scared of that. Use it as a threat. It's going to try to pull you out of that. This is why I think so many people avoid it. Not consciously. It's a subconscious pattern. The beginning feels safe because it's full of possibility and it's possibilities, and it's shiny and new, right? The middle feels very exposing because now your nervous system starts asking, oh my God, are we really doing this? Are we actually becoming different? Are we actually venturing out of the old shitty pattern and into something new? Are we actually going to be seen as someone who changes? Are we going to have to sustain this? Like, what will people expect from us if we keep doing this? What if we fail again? And then suddenly you're friggin' tired. Like you're too tired to keep going. You're busy. You're too confused to keep going. You're not sure. You need a break. You need to research this more. You need to wait till next Monday. You need to wait till things calm down a bit. And we're annoyed with ourselves when we recognize this, right? But it's not because you don't care. You care so much. That's why you keep starting over. But it's happening because your system is trying to bring you back to that familiar, right? Again, this is the point. It all comes down to this. This is why the answer can't just be more information. You already have enough information. Like, you know what habits would help you get where you want to go. You know what routines would support you. You know what content you need to post. You know the money that needs to be looked at. You know what care your body needs. You know the relationship with yourself needs attention. The issue is not that you need another tip. The issue is that your brain has to learn that following through on these things is safe, normal, and who you are. And that is a different kind of work. It's not informative work. So let's talk about the woman who doesn't need another restart. Because she's not perfect. That's not the goal, right? She's not this like robotic, optimized, cold plunging at 5 a.m. every day woman who like never gets tired and only eats salmon bowls. Unless that's your thing. Congratulations. Love that journey for you. But that's not what I mean. The woman who doesn't need another restart and stops that start-stop cycle is not the woman who never gets off track. She gets off track regularly. It's life. She is the woman who doesn't abandon herself when she does get off track. She doesn't turn one missed day into like a full identity collapse. She doesn't make one imperfect week mean she has to wait for a new month. She doesn't need the emotional drama of, that's it, I'm done. This time I'm changing everything in order to just take the next aligned action step. She just returns again and again and again. Boring consistency, falling off and returning again and again. And eventually returning becomes simply who she is. And that's the whole thing. Not restarting, returning. And there is a massive difference. Restarting is coming from the energy of, I failed, so I need to begin again as a new person. Returning is, I am still her and I'm coming back to what supports me. Restarting has shame in it. Returning has identity in it. Restarting is usually dramatic. Returning is quiet but powerful. Another distinction that comes to mind right now is that restarting is usually depending on motivation and effort, okay, forcing and trying. Returning is depending on self-trust and self-respect and the rewiring. Rewiring your brain to just be that person so it's not coming from effort and force and discipline and motivation. And if you can become a woman who returns quickly, then your entire life changes because you stop losing weeks, months, years to the story that, you ruined it. You got to start over. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop needing to feel inspired. You stop letting one human moment turn into an entire season of self-abandonment, and you just come back. That is the woman who follows through. Not the woman who never wobbles, not the woman who doesn't have chaos in her life, the woman who returns despite it all. So, what do you do instead of restarting? I'm not going to teach the entire process here because I'm teaching a deeper version of this in this free live class I'm doing on Tuesday, okay? But I do want to give you something useful now in the meantime. The next time you feel the urge to create a massive restart, I want you to pause and ask, what am I trying to escape feeling right now? Because most of the time, the restart is not actually about becoming. It is about escaping shame, escaping that you've disappointed yourself, escaping the discomfort of seeing the gap between who you say you are, who you want to be, and what you're currently repeating. And please know, I do not mean that in a harsh way. Again, I've been there for many, many years. Or I should say I was there for many, many years. I mean it in let's just stop lying to ourselves way so that we can actually get better. Because when you can name what you're trying to escape, you get your power back. It's not a shame thing. It's a power return thing. Instead of, I need to restart my whole life Monday, it becomes, I feel disappointed that I haven't been showing up for myself, and especially the fact that I show up for everyone else. I feel overwhelmed because I made this too big. Perfectionism is getting to me again here. I feel embarrassed that I keep saying I'm going to change and then I don't. Or I feel scared that I'm never going to become the woman I keep talking about and my life is going to go by. That level of honesty is where things start to shift, because now you're not bypassing with a plan, you're meeting the pattern, the root. Then you're going to ask, okay, what is the smallest action that would prove I'm just returning to what I know I need to do right now? Not the biggest action or the perfect action or the most impressive one, not the one that would make a great Instagram story. The smallest action that just proves the identity is being wired in. Like drink the water, put on the shoes, open the document, send the message, register for the class, show up live, walk for 10 minutes, clear the counter, do the nervous system practice, make the decision. Small is not weak when it is repeated. It's potently powerful. Small is how your brain starts believing you. You do not need to overwhelm your system to prove you're serious. You need to become consistent enough that your brain stops arguing with the new identity. That's it. I want you to really let this land. Your life is literally being shaped by what you repeatedly do. Not what you occasionally declare, not, what you promise you're fed up with, what you promise yourself when you're fed up with, shit. Because we get fed up with ourselves all the time. That promise you make to yourself, that's actually not what's wiring things in. You're staying in the cycle of start, stop. Okay? It's what you return to. So if you keep returning to avoidance in that start, stop cycle, that becomes your identity. If you're watching this, that's probably your identity right now. It's okay. We can rework it. If you keep returning to chaos, that becomes your identity. If you keep returning to quitting, that becomes your identity. But if you start returning to self-trust, even in super tiny ways, that becomes your identity too. If you return to nervous system regulation, that becomes familiar. If you return to your word, that becomes familiar. If you return to the version of you who follows through, even messy and imperfect, she becomes familiar. And familiar is powerful. Eventually, your brain stops treating the new version of you like a threat, and it starts treating her like home, just like it's treating the current version of you like home. And that's when consistency gets easier. You don't need effort. You don't need motivation. It just is who you are. That's when follow through stops feeling like this huge emotional event, and you become the woman who doesn't need to keep announcing that she's starting over, because she just lives differently. And that's what I want for you. Not this, another intense little burst of, all right, I'm back. I want you to actually be back with yourself, back with your body, back with your vision, back with your word, back to your life, the way you want to live it. And if this is hitting, I want you to come to my live class on Tuesday. It's free. It's Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Okay. It's called Stop Starting Over, the 5 steps to becoming the woman who follows through. And in that class, I'm going deeper into how this pattern actually works and what has to shift if you want consistency to become something your brain and body can actually sustain. This is not like another hype class. This is not just be disciplined. It's not wake up earlier and try harder. It's identity, nervous system, and behavior change in a way that actually makes sense. So if you're done needing a restart every week, come live. Come live. Tuesday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. The link is underneath this video or audio if you're listening to the podcast. Actually come live. Not because replays are bad. The replay will happen. It's only going to be up for a few hours, but it will happen. But so much of the time, the pattern starts before the class even starts. Like the first interruption is like, you know what? I'm actually not going to come live. I have something else I could be doing at that time. And you got to stop it at some point. And like, no, I'm not pushing myself again. I'm showing up for the version of me I keep saying I want to be. So come live on Tuesday, click the link around this video or episode, and I will see you there. I hope this supported you. I hope it inspired you, but I also hope you actually take some real action this time. I will see you Tuesday.